Sweet 16 started on Thursday. A bunch of Cinderella stories here. You got Loyola-Chicago playing, Michigan, K-State. Not Michigan's not the Cinderella story. You got Texas A&M as a Cinderella story. So you got a lot of teams as a Cinderella story here. So it's good. It's good to see all these teams, sort of upsetting. And the bracket is completely screwed up. And it even got even more screwed up on Thursday with, like I said, 3 Cinderellas winning. Big time games. Great action. All together. Just some good games. So the first game that kicked it off that was actually really, really good was Loyola-Chicago versus Nevada. So Eric Musselman's team, you know how he does. He only plays with 6 players, and he really relies on the Martin twins to help him out. So early on, Nevada, it's tied 4-4. Caroline hits a layup. Caroline hits some free throws. Hall hits a layup. Martin hits a layup. They go up 12-4 on Loyola-Chicago. Then they even go up by more with some Caroline free throws and Martin 3. They go up 20-8. So they go up by 12. They're up 20-8 with 13:36 left in the half. This is when Nevada completely melted. And it was really hard to watch Nevada melt. Because they're a good team. They play solid fundamentally. And they're able to even though they play with only 6 players, they're able to hold their ground very, very well. But Loyola-Chicago, you got to make a comeback. So Krutwig hit a layup. Towns hit some free throws. Towns hit a layup. They cut the lead. They chopped the lead to 6 at 20-14. Then at 22-16, Krutwig hit a tip shot. Then Martin hit a 3. Martin hit a 2. So Martin hit a dunk. So Martin slammed it down. Nevada went up by 8, 24-16. Everything looks good for Nevada, even though they sort of squandered the 12-point lead. They still have an 8-point lead. But this is where the choking started happening. Loyola-Chicago had a 12-0 run to end the half by Custer 3, Custer layup, Towns free throws, Towns 3 towards the end of the half. So 12-0 run. So here's what happened. So totally in the last 13:36, Nevada only scored 4 points, and it was a 28-4 run to end the half, and Loyola-Chicago went to the half with a 28-24 lead. Too many missed shots for for Nevada. They executed very well. They came out firing. Loyola-Chicago was missing. Then Loyola-Chicago started getting to the rim, hitting threes, executing their offense, and too many turnovers also for Nevada. Nevada didn't value the ball. And Loyola-Chicago, like I said, got way too many easy shots on the perimeter. So second half comes, and Loyola-Chicago just kept rolling. They were up by 4, and then they extended the lead all the way up to 10 with a Towns layup, Richard layup, and Towns dunk, and Richardson layup. So they literally all they did was they extended the lead. They just kept extending the lead. Which, that's a killer. That's a killer for Nevada because they're a good team and they hate to be down. Even though they've lost the last 2 games, even though they won the last 2 games, from being down, they're still, they need to be up in a game to having a bit of an advantage, and they didn't. They just kept going down and down, and they went all the way down to 10, and Chicago kept driving for easy layups and making all of them, and they were coasting. They were up by 10 with 7:49 to go, 57, and they were coasting. They were sort of like, oh, we got this. See, Nevada, I commend Nevada for making a comeback here. Cody Martin hit a layup. Cody Martin hit some free throws. Hall made a layup. Martin hit a layup. So it's an 8-0 run for Nevada. They cut the game all the way down to 2, which is good, but sometimes it's just not going to work, man. And then Caroline hit a layup and Martin hit a layup, so game got tied. The game got tied at 59, which is good. They got the game back in their flow, and so it was working for them. So Custer had a perfect setup for Jackson, who was on the wing for 3. He put it up. Jackson little like James Harden style shot, and nailed the 3. He was open. The defender closed out pretty well, but it was a good look, and he just nailed it. So good job for Loyola-Chicago getting that look, going up by 3. Jackson hit a layup, Jackson went up, and then he hit another layup on that soft perimeter defense of Nevada and put Loyola-Chicago up by 4. Then Martin hit a 3. Cody Martin hit a 3, and Loyola-Chicago, the lead was cut to 1. Then Towns hit a layup. Towns hit a layup, sorry. So 66-65. Towns pump fakes, moves away, shot clock running down, game clock running down, shoots a 3, bang! Loyola-Chicago goes up by 4. And there's just not enough time on the clock left. So they try to foul, but what happens is they're 3 fouls away from getting into the bonus. So they did make a 3. Cody Martin did hit a 3. So Yeah, Martin hit a three, so they got it, but within one. But like I said, late game fouling situation was kind of bad for them. You know, they like I said, they had 3 fouls to get into the bonus, and by the time they got the last foul, the clock ran out on the game. So clock ran out, and Loyola-Chicago stole one. So the 11-seeded Loyola-Chicago sister team had them losing in this game. So the 11-seed Loyola-Chicago Ramblers continue their run, and they will advance to the Elite Eight. So they rallied from about 12 down in the first quarter, kept themselves with it. They went up by 10. Then Nevada sort of came back. Nevada tried to come back and win. Jackson with 15, Townsend with 18, and Sister Jean had them winning. And then Cinderella shot, and the Cinderella story, like I said, Cinderella story continues. And on Saturday, they will have a shot at the Final Four. What a game for this program. What a win for this program. Just an amazing job by this program to get a win like this and to help them out, really, because this is the sort of win that helps these type of programs out and puts them on the map. So good job for Loyola-Chicago Ramblers for advancing to the Elite Eight. So Michigan versus Texas A&M was a complete blowout. Michigan killed them. Oh my goodness. Here's what happened. The defense limited Starks. Wagner held down the fort down low, so Williams and the other guy couldn't really get much penetration. Abdul Rahman hit a bunch of threes. The team was rolling, hitting a bunch of threes, stealing the ball, getting dunks. Texas A&M's defense wasn't there early. They did show up later. You know, their offense and defense did show up later, but Michigan was already up way too late, so it was already up. So they stayed up by 27. A&M, they got some rallies going, but it was too much too late. You know, they never got it lower than 20, and it was just you can't. Michigan is just too offensively gifted to be able to be lax on defense. They didn't come out the right amount of energy. Michigan came out steamrolling, and they just steamrolled to win the game. So John Beilein takes Michigan to the Elite Eight with an offensively talented team like he always does with Bo Wagner, Abdul Rahman, Poole, like he said, hit the buzzer beater in the last one. So good job to Michigan. They went from almost losing to Houston to now being in the Elite Eight. That's how close March Madness is, and crazy. So they're the best remaining team in their region after Xavier and North Carolina both got knocked out in that region. So they're the 3 seed in the driver's seat right now, but you never know what's going to happen. I mean, it's March Madness, so you got to be careful, but good job for Michigan Wolverines. You know, they did win the Big Ten in the regular season, or Big Ten in the championship in the tournament, and now they're sort of excelling in the tournament as well. Obviously, they haven't gotten the opponents. They haven't played the Xaviers or the North Carolinas, but hey, winning a game in the tournament is still hard, so give them credit for what they've done in terms of winning games, and that last game against Houston was crazy too, so give them credit for what they've done. They've played very, very well. High-style basketball offensively. They haven't really dropped off even though the tournament's come, so good job to them. Kansas State versus Kentucky. Kansas State knocked off Kentucky. Kentucky went down. Yes. I mean, no, my bracket. I mean, yes. I hate Kentucky. I mean, they were one of the best remaining teams left. I actually thought they were in the driver's seat for a Final Four because if they had won, they would have had to play Loyola-Chicago. So they would have creamed Loyola-Chicago. But they couldn't even beat K-State. K-State came out with the perfect defensive game plan, and they did exactly what they needed to do. So they came out. Brown hit some free throws. Brown hit 2 threes. Put K-State up 7-zip. Then they just kept it going. Stokes hit a layup. Stokes hit a free throw. Snead hit 3. So K-State was already up 13-1 early in this game. And then Kentucky sort of came back with some Alexander free throws. Knox layup. Alexander free throw. Green 3. So they cut it to 3. So it was 13-10. Game went about 2 minutes scoreless at 17-15. Then Stokes, Stockard hit some free throws. Snead hit a 3. K-State went back up by 7. And then K-State was up by 9 at this point. Then Alexander hit a layup. Alexander hit some free throws. Washington free throw. Gabriel layup. Gabriel free throw. 30-29. So it looks like Kentucky's on an 8-0 run right before the half. They got all the momentum. If they get the ball back, they're probably gonna take the lead right before the half. But nope. McGurl comes out, drains a 3. K-State goes to halftime by 4. K-State kept the lead the entire first half. Kentucky did not get the lead even once. I think this was key. The defense, like I said, stymied them. Bunch of foul trouble here, down low, because K-State was actually not good down low because they didn't have the type of big men that Kentucky had. So instead of letting up big dunks, they just fouled them down low because they didn't want the momentum to go to Kentucky. So they were like, all right, instead of having a big play dunk, let's foul them, make them shoot free throws. And this was actually a really good strategy because Kentucky never really got the momentum going because of this. So that's good. Like I said, game was played at K-State's pace. Physical, scrappy game. Hamidi Diallo got injured in the first half. He got 3 fouls anyway, but he got injured in the first half. He was playing kind of hurt, and then he sort of came back, and he was, and then he heals himself again. K-State limited their chances, like I said, and they hit a lot of threes. So, and they also, they didn't make Kentucky comfortable in the first half, so Kentucky wasn't really playing their style of basketball. So, second half comes, K-State's up by 2, then bam, Green hits a 3. Kentucky takes the first lead of the game with about 17 minutes and a half. They go up 36-35, but bam, K-State quickly counters the Snead 3 to go back up by 2. Game's tied at 38. Then Diarra hits a 3, and Calipari got mad at Kevin Knox for, committing a turnover/foul, and he got out of the coaching. He went to yell. Problem was he was out of the coaching box, so they'd call a tech on him, and that technical free throw by Brown. Xavier Snead hit a 3, and Barry Brown hit a layup. So K-State quick 9-0 run, countered it, went up by 9. Good job for them. You got to counter Kentucky sometimes, and that was a good counter by them. Looking at Kentucky, seeing all right. We got to counter what Kentucky just did, because if we don't, we're going to lose this game. And Bruce Weber's team did a really good job of countering Kentucky like that all night. But Kentucky always had some answers to keep the game close. They went on a 6-0 run of their own with a Knox, powered by a Kevin Knox jumper, a Washington jumper, and a Kevin Knox jumper. So Kevin Knox really kept him in the game. I think Kevin Knox was huge. Like I said, I think the big men played pretty well, but I just think they didn't do enough because of the size difference, because of all the fouling. So good job to K-State for that. I think that was a great offensive execution. So then K-State goes on a little 5-0 run, which could have actually been more points. But K-State missed a lot of opportunities, open shots, free throws, missing a lot of things. They missed a lot of front ends of a 1-on-1s. So they should have made those shots. Had they done it, the lead probably would have gotten extended. So Snead hit a free throw, Snead hit a layup, and Snead hit another layup. So K-State, like I said, 5-0 run, went up 52-44. Then, like I said, Kentucky had a counter for every run. Washington hits a free throw, Diallo layup, Washington free throw. So another 5-0 run counter. Game's cut to 3. And then after that, Kevin Knox hits a free throw. Kevin Knox hits Kevin Knox hits a 3. Washington free throw, Alexander layup. So Kentucky goes up once again in this game. Second time, 55-54 Kentucky. The Wildcats, the game's coming down to the wire. This is where I thought the game was going to end. I was like, all right, Kentucky got the lead. They're going to coast. They're going to hit some shots. K-State's going to forget to execute defensively, and K-State's going to get a couple of shots here. They're tired defensively, but Bruce Weber's team really held their ground. They came back, Diarra hit a steal and layup, so good job for him. Like I said, K-State missed a lot of easy shots, but they held defensively even late in the game as well, and it was scoreless for like a minute 30 seconds, like that, and that's crucial because it's like a late game, so that was just, and then Washington hit a layup and one, but he missed the free throw, so Kentucky went up by 1, 57-56, but then it was a loose foul fall on Hamidi Diallo, so those are 2 free throws. Brown hit both of them, Barry Brown, so K-State went up by 1, and then P.J. Washington was fouled down low. P.J. Washington went 1 for 1. P.J. Washington actually missed a lot of free throws late. He only went about 7 for 20 or something, and that was just not good, because they kept fouling P.J. Washington in the second half. Late in the second half, their bigs got in foul trouble. Everyone got in foul trouble. But it just didn't, Xavier, even their best player, 22 points, Xavier Snead, fouled out because of foul trouble. And they still couldn't win. They couldn't capture the win. I don't know what happened. But like I said, P.J. Washington hit a free throw. So then it's K-State's possession. They have a bunch of time. They got about 46 seconds. So Brown tries a little floater, gets rejected. He misses, but Diarra flies in with the offensive rebound, and then Brown gives up the ball, and then Wayne and Gabriel does a little switch, and then Brown goes, gets the ball back. He drives right past Alexander, and he throws up a shot. over PJ Washington's outstretched arm. PJ Washington missed it by a little millisecond, and the ball went in the hoop for a layup, and K-State took the lead, 60-58, and they would take it for the rest of the game. So that then Kentucky obviously did not execute offensively, gave the ball back. They clanked a shot, and K-State got the ball back, hit a free throw, but they missed the second one. So Kentucky called a timeout real fast, and Kentucky set up a play for a three-pointer. Gilgeous Alexander shot a nice, clean look at three, but it clanked off. Nice job by them to, back away. So good job, Gilgeous Alexander. So K-State steals one. Cinderella story, 9 seed taking on a 5 seed. There goes all the top seeds in that region. But good job. They didn't. I think Kentucky didn't really get their pace in this game. They didn't set their feet. All their weaknesses came out. Offensively, I mean, defense. This is probably one of Coach Calipari's worst teams, and it still probably would have made the Final Four had they. And they've been covering up their weaknesses, and they should have played better defensively. I feel like, because with all those athletes on their team, defensively you got to be a little bit more better. But also offensively, Kevin Knox, Gilgeous Alexander, Diallo, none of these guys really got going. And like I said, K-State's defense, give Bruce Weber a lot of credit. Dude coached really, really well, and they always had, like I said, K-State always had to answer to Kentucky's runs. Kentucky had to run to K-State's runs. So it was a back-and-forth game. The pace, and they stayed disciplined defensively, and they got it. So good job to the K-State Wildcats. To the Kansas State Wildcats, they will advance to the Elite Eight and play the Loyola-Chicago Ramblers. So good job to them. Loyola-Chicago's awaiting another Cinderella story. So 2 Cinderella stories meeting up in the Elite Eight. Florida State versus Gonzaga. This was a complete blowout. I don't even know why Florida State made this close in the beginning, but Florida State just, if you watch the game, it was back and forth, but you sort of knew Florida State was going to win because they had 2 7-footers down low, and I think that really disrupted them, and Tilly was out for Gonzaga. Tilly is a key piece for the Bulldogs. So game starts 6-5. Walker hits some free throws. Savoy hits a 3. Mann hits a layup. Forrest hits a layup. Abegu hits a dunk. So Florida State's up by 10 now. 10-0 run. Good job for them. 11-0 run. Sorry. Good job for Florida State. Or 11-1 run. Actually, but okay. And then at 16-11, Obiagio dunk, Walker free throws, Walker 3. They go up by 12, so 7-0 run again. Like I said, Florida State went on a lot of runs in this game, but in the first half, Gonzaga was doing a good job of countering, but after that, they didn't. So they countered with the run with the Williams layup and 1, Williams free throws, Hachimura layup, Perkins free throws, Melson jumper, Willie layup, Perkins 3. So Gonzaga went on a 15-0 run to capture back the lead. 27-26. So they did, like I said, they went on a nice little run to capture back. 26-23. So they went back to capture the lead, and FSU went about 5 minutes without scoring in that first half, and I don't know why. That's a huge drought. When you're playing a team like Gonzaga, that's a ginormous drought, and you can't do that. So then Gonzaga hit a Walker. Gonzaga went up, and Walker hit a 3. FSU recaptured the lead. Then Walker hit a free throw. Gonzaga's only up by 1, but FSU went on a 9-0 run. FSU actually led. Sorry, FSU went on a little 9-0 run to end the half and capture the lead. Basically, Gonzaga was leading by 1. Walker hit a 3. Savoy hit a 3. Allen hit a nice little jumper right into the half. Took FSU to a 9-1 lead. Took FSU to a 9-0 run and a 9-point lead, pretty much 41-32. Good job for Florida State. So yeah, they were down low. The 7-footers, like I said, were complete disadvantage. So were the depth. Some of the problems. Gonzaga had a lot of defensive problems. So yeah, that's why they just couldn't put it together in this game. So Florida State goes up by as many as 12. Then Melson hits a jumper. Norwell hits a 3. And Perkins hit a jumper, cuts it to 5. Then they cut into the lead again. When it's a 9-point game, they go on a 5-0 run. Hachimura jumper, Norwell 3, 53-49. Florida State. But there's no score. In the second half also, there's a dry spell of about 2 minutes where there was about no scoring. And that was just that. So a little run at this. At 62-55, Florida State put together a little run to basically put the game away. Man layup, Kofor dunk, Angola free throws, put quick 5-0 run, puts Florida State up by 12 late. And then when it was up 9, they closed the door with the Kofor layup, Kofor free throw, Gabioga dunk, and they won 75-60. They stole this one at Staples. They're a 9-seeded team. They took down the 3-seeded Gonzaga Bulldogs, or 4-seeded Gonzaga Bulldogs, and they played very, very well fundamentally. Like I said, they have a lot of depth. See, the thing about Gonzaga is they don't have too much depth on the bench. We usually just put their starting 5 guys, Norwell, Hachimura. They play around them. So Gonzaga didn't really have any other depth, and Florida State just kept pulling 7-footers off the bench. Even though some of their first guys they had more guys down low, easy baskets, offensive rebounds. Here's the thing, offensive rebounds also killed Gonzaga. Bunch of rebounding, bunch of shots going in. Florida State just drove to the teeth of the defense. Like I said, the depth was a huge problem. Fundamentally sound game. Good job for Florida State. They were favored last year and the year before, and they both got knocked out by by programs that you shouldn't lose to. So good job to Florida State to be able to win and capture a nice Kodak moment for them to win and advance to the Elite Eight. So congratulations to Florida State. Their Cinderella story continues. So that was it for the Sweet 16 action on Thursday. Like I said, 3 upsets, 3 Cinderella stories continuing. Loyola-Chicago winning, K-State winning, and Florida State winning. So the first 9-11 matchup ever in the Elite Eight, because all the top 5 seeds, all 1 through 8 are all knocked out, and it's 9 versus 11. Loyola-Chicago Ramblers versus Kansas State Wildcats for a shot at the Final Four. How crazy is that? So that's good. Kentucky's freshmen are done. Always Kentucky's freshmen. They either played really, really well at the end or played really, really bad at the end. This year's team was a little underwhelming on every circumstance. They could have made up for it by going to the Final Four, but they didn't. They weren't disciplined enough, and that comes back on Coach Calipari. Eric Musselman and Mariah Musselman's story ends. Nevada, they played their heart out. They played very well, but at the end, Loyola-Chicago Ramblers had one last shot. One late shot back in them, and Loyola-Chicago knocked them off. So, good story. Loyola, Eric Musselman's sister Jean's bracket got busted, but, that is what it is. Elite Eight, so you got Kansas State versus Loyola-Chicago, which I think will be a very fun game, because that'll be something to look forward to, And Michigan, Florida State, I want to see how Michigan's going to handle Florida State's down low stuff. I'm actually going to this game, so if you see me, you can give me a shout out. Gonzaga's out again. Another underwhelming season for the Bulldogs. They went to the championship last year, but they lost. That was their only. I think that was their only good year where they weren't underwhelming. They're always usually underwhelming. So, like I said, a bunch of Cinderella stories happening. I want to see what's going to happen on Friday with Clemson, Kansas, and all these stuff. I want to see if there's an upset left on Friday. See if one of these big teams get knocked out in Omaha, obviously. So we'll see what happens. Interesting Sweet 16. Yesterday's games, when it started out, wasn't too great because some of the offenses weren't working, but second half of the day was really, really good. So good day, good upset. Cinderella stories continue. Let's see what happens on Friday's action, and I will get to you and put that video up as soon as possible when the action happens.